millions of people and businesses around the world. What started as a simple email service, however, has grown into a complete marketing system because Mailchimp lets you manage all the aspects of a marketing strategy, from emails to ads to social media and more, from a single place. Let's create a new account in Mailchimp. Starting at Mailchimp.com, click Create an Account. You can use a work or a personal email address. Just make sure that you have access to the account so you can verify your identity. New Mailchimp account users are required to verify the account by clicking a link sent in an email. When you open the email and click to activate your new account, Mailchimp wants to confirm that you're not a spam bot. Next, you're going to fill in some details about yourself, and you'll fill in some details about your company. This might seem like a lot of information, but it helps you comply with privacy laws. Mailchimp will ask if you already have a list of subscribers. These could be emails from another email system, or you may have them stored in a spreadsheet, for example. We're going to skip this step for now. If you want to connect your social media accounts, you can do that here, but we can also do that later. Finally, Mailchimp gives you the chance to sign up for their newsletters. I recommend signing up for these. Not only does the team at Mailchimp have a great sense of humor and communication style, you'll get an example of an automation strategy that you might want to use in the future. You can already see that Mailchimp is easy to use, and it offers some great ways to get started with their service, things that I'll be covering in this course. The very best news is you're all set up and ready to go. Now that you have an account set up, let's take a minute to review what's available in the Mailchimp Dashboard. After you log in, you'll see your Mailchimp Dashboard. The Audience Dashboard is where you see the data about each of your audiences. This account has multiple audiences. You can see this audience has 388 contacts, and 255 of them are active subscribers. Information about the list growth and engagement for the selected audience is all right here. You can even see the top locations where your audience members are from. Your Campaigns dashboard is where the messages that you send are organized. You can select the Audience drop-down to see the campaigns by audience. For each campaign, you'll see the stats that show you how your campaign did. When you have a lot of campaigns in the dashboard, it can be very helpful to use this search box. The Reports dashboard gives you more detail about your campaigns and landing pages. One of the most interesting things you can learn from this screen is when your subscribers are viewing the campaigns. This can help you decide what is the best time or the best day to send your campaigns. The Content Studio is where all your images and videos are stored. If you link your Instagram to Mailchimp, you'll have all those images to repurpose in your campaigns as well. If you work on a team, various people will have responsibilities for creating, editing, and sending campaigns. As an account owner, you may want to add additional users to your Mailchimp account so that they can do their work. Let's add an additional user to this account now. To get started, you'll select the account and choose the Settings option. Then select Users. As you can see here, I have a few users in this account, and this is where I can manage their access. For example, if someone leaves, I can revoke their access. In the Pending Invitations section, you can see that I invited someone to this account some time ago, but they never accepted. I could resend this invitation, but I think I'll just cancel it. To invite someone new to your Mailchimp account, you'll select Invite a User. You'll type an email address into the first line. Then decide what level of access this new user will have to your account. I recommend typing a personal message into this field because it will be included in the email that's sent to the new user. When you're done, click Send Invite. The new user will get an email that includes a link to accept. Once they accept, they will appear in the list of account users here. No matter what the size of your organization or group, great marketing starts with an up-to-date audience and important data like who interacted with your store or how often they read your emails. Mailchimp provides some very useful and flexible tools for managing this information so that you can create email campaigns that your audience wants to receive. Let's get started by creating a new audience. To see all of your audiences, you'll select Manage Audience and click the View Audience button. To create a new audience, you'll click the Create Audience button and we'll import a list that I collected from an event. Now here, Mailchimp is recommending that I use tags to organize my audiences rather than to create a new list. Tags are labels that you can add to your contacts. If you've ever worked with a customer relationship manager or a CRM service, then you understand that categorizing your contacts can be very useful for understanding and marketing to your audience members. If you're just setting up your account, you won't see this message, but it's a good reminder that using tags is better than creating multiple lists. This is especially true if you have lists that may contain duplicate contacts, because Mailchimp charges you based on the number of contacts in your audience lists. We're going to go ahead and create a new audience. We'll start by giving our audience a name. Next, you'll give the audience a default from email. Now, this can be any email address, but for the sake of who you are sending messages to, it should be something recognizable. Sending messages from a personalized email account gives you better results because people are more likely to read the messages. The default from name, in your case, might be the editor at your company or the CEO. If you're a small business owner like I am, using your own name gives your emails a personal touch. Mailchimp will generate a custom URL for every email you send. The first part of the campaign URL is Mailchimp server. For free account users, the second part is a randomly generated string of characters. If you're a paid account user, you can customize each campaign URL, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. The advantage of using your own verified domain is all about search engine optimization. I'll select my own verified domain from the list. When people interact with and share my campaigns, the search engines see that as useful content, and then my website gets a little positive search engine ranking juice. You'll want to type a short reminder to help subscribers recognize that they joined your list voluntarily. This helps prevent automatic unsubscribes, and it shows that you are personable and transparent. The contact information is pre-populated from your account settings. This is the same contact info that goes on your website, and it should be a real address. If you don't like what's showing here, you can click Edit and change it for this audience list. The form settings help your lists stay in compliance. Select Double Opt-in if you want to send a confirmation email when someone subscribes. If your organization has to conform to GDPR, select that checkbox as well. If you don't know what GDPR is, please check with your legal team. You can select how often that you want to receive notifications when people join your list. And it can be really fun to see your campaigns working, but it can fill up your inbox pretty quickly too, so I recommend selecting Daily Summary. When you're finished, click Save. Now that you have a brand new audience, it's time to add some contacts. To get contacts into your list, you can import them or create a sign-up form. I recommend both, and I'm going to show you how to import your contacts now. In the Add Contacts drop-down, you'll see there are a couple of ways to add new people to your lists. You can add a single subscriber or import a list of contacts. Now, it's important to remember that you can import contacts as long as they gave you permission to send them emails. Otherwise, you'll be in violation of the CAN-SPAM Act. You can import your contacts from a few services that are shown here. My contacts are in a comma-separated value file. I'll browse to find the list of contacts on my desktop. Mailchimp will remove duplicate addresses on import. That means if your list has contacts with duplicate names, the first one will be saved and the imported one will be ignored. You'll match the import data to the fields in your list, and they look like columns here. To match the first name field, we'll select the Edit button, choose the column, and select Save. And then we'll do this to all of the remaining columns, skipping any of the data that you don't want to import. With all of the columns matched, you'll click Continue. And then next, you're going to be invited to add or create a tag for these new contacts. This tag will apply to all of the new members that you are importing into your audience. I gathered this list of contacts from a yoga retreat, so I'm going to type that as my indicator. The next option is to choose the status of the contacts that you are importing. You'll notice that I can import unsubscribed and cleaned contacts. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to import a list of cleaned or unsubscribed contacts from another email service? Well, for the simple reason that your contact list in Mailchimp is a complete record of all the people that you've engaged with. So even if they unsubscribed in the past, that doesn't mean they want to come back and work with you later. If they do sign up, then you'll have not only their new engagement data, but also the former data. If you run an amazing email campaign on social media, for example, and get people to sign up again, that old audience data will be useful. The contacts that I'm importing here filled out a quick survey and opted into my list, so I can safely click Subscribed. You're all set to import, so click Import. Your contact list will be imported, and depending on the size of it, you may just have to wait a bit. Integrating your social media accounts is a great way to automatically share your campaigns. You'll integrate the social media channels in your Mailchimp account. Select Integrations. Mailchimp integrates with a ton of web services, and as you can see here, I have Facebook integrated already. Let's add another channel or two. We'll start with Twitter. I'll select the audience that I want to connect with my Twitter account. We'll select the newsletter audience. This means that the campaigns I send to this list can also have an automatic tweet when they're sent. The next screen tells me what it means to authorize Mailchimp to access my Twitter account. Essentially, Mailchimp will be able to tweet for me and see my Twitter activity. Just because your accounts are connected doesn't mean that every email campaign you send will also have a shared social media post. That's actually something that you control. All we're doing right now is authorizing the applications to connect. To see if my connection is successful, I can click the Test Connection button, and it looks like it's found my account. Excellent. Let's also connect this Mailchimp account to Google. I'll choose the Google account that corresponds with my business email, and I'll see an explanation of what it means to connect it to Mailchimp. Essentially, connecting my Google account to Mailchimp means that I can access the Google Analytics and the files in my drive, which can be super handy if I store images, text, or other assets there. Mailchimp campaigns are the messages that you send to your audience, and one of the most common types of campaigns is an email, which we're going to do right now. To get started, select Create Campaign. And you can see Mailchimp offers a number of campaigns that you can send to your subscribers. The one we're most interested right now is an email campaign. Let's start by creating a regular old email campaign. It's the most commonly used type of campaign, and I use this one all the time. Let's say I want to create an email to introduce a new yoga teacher. Type a name for this campaign. This will help you find it in the list of campaigns, and it's not something that your subscribers will see. Welcome to your Campaign Builder dashboard. The first thing that you'll do is select an audience to send this email to. I'm going to send this message to my yoga teachers. Mailchimp asks if I want to send this campaign to the entire list or to a segment of the list. I'm going to send this message to everyone. If you want to personalize your email campaigns, you can do that. And there's strong evidence that this can help you with your marketing because subscribers feel like you've taken the extra effort to customize a message just for them. For this campaign, I'm going to personalize the message that I'm sending with the first name field, and we'll see how this looks in just a minute. To get started with this, I'm going to select the merge tag, first name, and click Save. The From field is automatically filled in from my settings in the account, but I can edit it. You want to make sure that this is something that your audience will recognize because it helps the email dodge spam filters and actually reach the intended inboxes. Next, you're going to define the campaign's subject line. An eye-catching subject line is critical to getting your email seen in a busy inbox. It's also a good idea to include something that's brand-related so that your audience will instantly recognize it. A word of caution here. Spammy subject lines can get your email rejected very quickly, and there are some characters that are especially problematic. Any subject line with a $sign or an exclamation point, for example, will be automatically rejected. Mailchimp knows a little bit about writing good subject lines, so they've provided some help here, and I do recommend you take a look at it. Now it's time to put some content into your email. This is where you get to choose one of the Mailchimp templates or even your own saved templates. I'm going to select the basic one-column layout for this email. And as I'm designing my email here, I can add a logo or other image at the very top of the campaign. To do this, I'm going to select the pencil icon and choose an image. This is the media library for my account, and I've got all kinds of images here. I can select any of these images here, or I can upload a new one. Anytime I add a header image to my email campaigns, I always link it to something like a landing page. This is because if I'm going to spend time creating my campaigns, I want to get some clicks out of it. Often people are reading their emails on a phone, and adding a link will help them navigate to your website. Including an alt tag ensures that when the image isn't automatically downloaded by the email client, the text will be displayed instead. You may have seen this in some inboxes. To see the images in the email, you have to select a button. So the alt text can reassure the recipient that what you're sending is legit and interesting. With my header image added, I can now update the body of the email. In the right-hand frame, there are text, headings, links, and even style components that you can add to your emails. I've filled in the email content. Let's add the first name to personalize it. I'm going to select here after the hi, and I'm going to select my merge tags list and add the first merge tag. This will display the first name when the email is sent to the recipients. I'm going to add a little style to this copy as well, adding a heading here. Next, I'm going to add a link. When I'm finished with editing the email content, I'll click Save and Close. Now, if I think I'm going to be sending more than one type of this email, I can save it as a template up here, and then I can use it over and over again. Once I save the email, I'll see it in the list of draft emails for this audience. When you create any campaign, you want to get the most out of all that hard work. Setting up your campaign for sharing makes it easy for your audience to share your news on their social channels. I have a draft email here, and I'm going to scroll down and take a look at the sharing options. To create a branded link for my campaign, I'm going to click this Edit button. If you have a verified domain with Mailchimp, you can customize the campaign with a branded URL. And this automatic URL is coming from the campaign name, and the automatic URL isn't going to give the campaign the optimization I'm looking for. So I'm going to type something more relevant to the content. If I create social media posts for each campaign, Mailchimp will send that post to the connected feed when the campaign is published. To create a social post for my campaign, I'm going to click the slider button to turn it on. I'm going to select the Audible Yoga business page so that this campaign doesn't go to my personal Facebook. I'm going to edit the post copy here as well. I can add an image, and I'm going to use the same image that's in the campaign so it looks familiar when this is clicked. When I'm done with creating this social post, I can click the Save Message button, and I can see how the post is going to look right now. I can continue creating additional social posts. When this email is sent, the post and the campaign will work together to let the people who follow my company or subscribe to my lists know what's new and what's happening. Anytime you create a campaign, you want to be sure it appears in your audience's inbox without any flaws. The only way to be sure that this is true is to test it before you actually send it. I recommend testing every draft campaign before you send it, and I often send multiple tests before I get the campaign just right. So I have a draft email campaign open here. I'm going to scroll down to where the content box is and click Send a Test Email. Ideally, you'll want to send a test email to yourself at one or all of your inbox accounts. This account has additional users, so I could send this test to multiple people. If I'm sending this email test to other people on my team, I might want to include instructions to let them know when the email is going to be sent and what kinds of things I want them to check. When I'm ready, I'll click the Send Test button. After you send a test email, go to your inbox and see the email the way your audience will see it. If anything looks weird or you want to change it, now's the time to do that. When your campaign is designed and tested, you have two options to send it. You can send it immediately, or you can schedule it. Now, scheduling campaigns is useful when you want to control when your audience receives it. So let's take a look at how this works. To schedule a campaign, click the Schedule link at the top of the screen. You want to select the date that your campaign will be delivered. And this is a future date, so you just have to decide when you want it to go. You can also set the time you want your campaign to be sent according to your own time zone. I like to set my campaigns to show up early in the morning. If you have a really large audience, you can choose to send the email in batches at intervals. If your audience is from different time zones, you can send the campaign according to their time zone. What's useful about this is that your audience will get your email when they're more likely to be awake and able to read it, versus 3 in the morning, for example. If you want Mailchimp to do all the work, you can select that option. This means that Mailchimp will use your audience data to select the optimal time to deliver the message based on when your audience has engaged with your messages in the past. After you've worked hard to design a campaign, you may be really excited to see how it's received. Here's a quick tip, though. Don't check your campaign results right away. I typically wait a day or two after a campaign is sent before I look at the results to get a full picture. It's not unusual to have results rolling in a week or more later, so give it a little time. In the campaign's dashboard, you'll see the results of each campaign. One of the first things you'll notice for each campaign is the percentage of opens. This is the number of times your email was opened and hopefully read. Clicks are the number of times someone clicked a link in your campaign. For more detailed results, you can click View Report. Scrolling through the results of this campaign, we can see when people read the email. We can see which links were clicked, and even which of the subscribers did the most clicking. The map at the bottom tells you where your readers are, and you can see which regions of the world get the best results. The tabs along the top here give you way more information about your campaign and how it's doing. You can switch to see other reports and compare them. Take a look at the links drop-down and choose the map. Here you can see what content the audience clicked most. Over time, you'll notice patterns in the results you're getting in your campaigns. This is valuable feedback that helps you analyze the success of your marketing. When you want to create a new campaign, you can start from scratch, you can use a template, or you can replicate an existing campaign. Find any campaign in your dashboard and click the drop-down to select Replicate. Sometimes when a campaign does particularly well with my audiences, I'll replicate it and change up the contents. The first thing you'll do is update the name of the campaign. This way I can recognize it in my campaign's dashboard as a new campaign. If I like, I can change the audience with this campaign, but this is the same audience that I want to send it to. I can test whether sending the campaign from an info@ email works better than a personal name, for example, by changing it here. As I work down the campaign builder, I'll update the subject line and the preview line. Now that the basics of this email are updated, I can change the contents in the email. The important thing to remember is that templates can only take you so far. Saving time when you can by replicating your campaigns can give your email marketing a good boost. When you design any campaign for your audience, you ideally want them to interact with the content that you're sending. One of the ways that you can get people to do that is by adding links to your emails. The intent of this message that I'm showing here is to get people to download the Yin Yoga classes and practice them before they go to sleep. So I'm going to link to a class. Here's the link that I want to send my audience members to. Next, in my email, I'll select the text or an image, ideally both, that I want to link. You can see from the underlining in the text that this is hyperlinked. When your audience clicks it, they will go to the web page that you selected. Adding links to the images is helpful because people often read their emails on their phones, and they're more likely to tap an image. Your links can take them anywhere on your website that you want them to go. Making it easy for your users to navigate between your emails and the content on your website is a good thing. If you skip these steps, you make it hard for your readers to see that your emails are useful to them, and they're more likely to unsubscribe when that happens. Including links to your social media channels in your campaigns is a great way to give your audience other ways to connect with your brand. There are 2 social components you can add to your email campaigns, and they do different things. In this email, I want to give my audience a way to follow my social accounts, so I'm going to drag the social follow component into my campaign. I can choose which channels I want to show. My business doesn't really use Twitter much, so I'm going to remove that one by clicking the minus sign. We do use Instagram, however, so I'm going to add that service to this list. Next, I'm going to update each of the profiles to my company's branded channels. I also want to switch around the order of these links so that it makes more sense to my readers. You can change the style elements, but what I really want to do is change the settings. You'll notice that I can elect to use just the icon or an icon in text, and I can set up the alignment or even the size of the images. Don't forget that at any time you can preview your email campaign to see how it will look. You can see it in the desktop and in mobile. My links show right down here. When your readers receive this email, they can click the social icons to see what's happening there and even follow your profiles. The footer of your email campaigns is way more important than you might think. You can make it elaborate or simple, but your footer must contain some information that's important for complying with anti-spam laws and Mailchimp's own terms of use. Let's open the footer of this draft email and see what's in it. Your footer must include the physical address of your company. You'll notice the address here is shown as a merge field. It's pulled from the Mailchimp account settings. You must also have an unsubscribe link. These are required to comply with anti-spam laws. You can review the contact information by clicking Edit. Mailchimp reminds you why having your audience contact information is so important. It's helpful also to remind subscribers why they signed up for your newsletters. You can make this sound quite friendly, as you can see I've done here. Mailchimp shares information about why complying with this Anti-Spam Act is important in this window. You can make changes to your contact information here, and they will be used in your future emails. Other changes that you can make to your campaign footers include the font styles and background colors, for example. To see how your footer will look, use your preview mode. This is an approximation of how the design will look in mobile, but you can also see it in the desktop view. Using Mailchimp sign-up forms on your website and social media is a great way to help people get information about your products and services by signing up to receive email from you. After all, a growing audience list is the core of any email strategy. To create a new sign-up form for this audience, I'll select Manage Audience and choose the sign-up forms. You can choose one or more types of sign-up forms, and each form will be associated to the audience list that you selected. Embedded forms create HTML code that you can put into your website or blog. Subscriber pop-ups are those things that display after you've been looking at a web page for a defined amount of time. You can also create sign-up forms to put on your Facebook page or on your landing pages. Let's select a pop-up form and see how to build it. With any sign-up form, you'll need the bare minimum, an email address, but you can add additional fields depending on how much information you want to gather for each new member of your audience. Because pop-up forms interrupt a user's experience with your website, I recommend asking just for an email with this type of form. On the right side of the screen, you'll see some design selections. This will show you how this pop-up will work. You can define the number of seconds that elapse before a form appears. You can adjust the image, font alignment, and text color here as well. Let's add a photo to this pop-up. Once your form is looking perfect, click Publish, and you'll be given the code to copy and paste where you want the form to display. With this code in hand, you can work with your developer to get the form to display on your website or on custom landing pages. I encourage you to experiment with the sign-up forms, using them in your campaigns and gathering more or less information from your new audience members. Mailchimp does a great job showing you how your audience is growing and whether they're engaging with your emails or not. To see the statistics, we'll start by selecting the audience in the drop-down. The Recent Growth box shows you how many contacts have been added and where they're coming from. In this case, my contacts came entirely from subscriptions. If I wanted to grow this list even more, I could use some of Mailchimp's suggestions, like creating a landing page, for example. If I scroll a little bit further, I can see how my audience engages with my email marketing. About 10% of my subscribers are highly engaged, and they click and open my emails. Depending on whether you're actively advertising to get new subscribers or not, I typically recommend looking at your list growth every month or every quarter. For each campaign you send, Mailchimp shows you the results of that campaign in your campaigns dashboard. To see how individual campaigns are doing, you'll start by selecting the audience and then choosing the campaign. Right away, you can see the number of opens and clicks, but if you want to see more information, click the View Report button. In addition to the basic open and click rates, I can see my audience averages and an industry average to compare. Further down, I can see what my audience did when they received this email. Some of them clicked, and one of them unsubscribed. I can see how the email performed in my audience's inboxes in the first 24 hours. It's typical to see a spike like that, and then fewer engagements over time. I can see what were the top links my audience clicked, and also who opened the email the most often. I didn't share this campaign on social media, but if I had, I would see the interaction here, including the clicks and likes. Reviewing the individual campaign results can help you know what resonates with your audience. Tags are labels that help you organize your contacts. Tags are completely customizable, so you can use them however you need to. Here's a pro tip. There are several ways you can work with tags. If you create a landing page with a sign-up form, for example, you can tag the contacts in that sign up through that page. You can also import a whole list of contacts and tag the entire list. As you learn more about the contacts in your audience, you can use the tags to identify them and send them targeted email campaigns. Let's see how to add some tags to an existing audience. I'm going to open up the Sharing Partners list. This is a list of people who are interested in my business, and they share my content with their followers. I've decided I'm going to tag them by their interests. I'm going to select a few people in my list that I know are yoga trainers. Now I'm going to add the tag to these contacts. You'll notice the trainers tag has now been added to the selected contacts. I'll select a few others that I know are yoga publishers. With my new tags added, I can filter my audience by a particular tag. This means that I can send a campaign to just a portion of my audience. Any Mailchimp audience can be segmented so that you can target specific subscribers in your lists. A segment is a portion of your list, and creating segments is a great way to use the list data and customize the messages you're sending. To create a new segment, you first have to select View Contacts. Then choose the Manage Contacts drop-down and select Segments. You can see that I've segmented this list a few times. I have a list for the people who were early adopters to my product and one for people who like free stuff. But let's say I want to create a new segment and send campaigns just to my Canadian subscribers. I want this segment to contain only the contacts that are in Canada, so I'll select the match on all of the filters that I'm going to define. I'm going to choose location as my first filter, select is in country, and then I can choose a list of countries. If I want to see what this segment will look like, I can preview it. If I'm happy with this segmented list, I'll save it. Otherwise, I can edit the segment and add additional filters. Segmenting my lists gives me greater control. It lets me target the email campaigns I send for better results. Occasionally, you may encounter a reason to export your contacts. You can export an entire audience, a segment of your audience, or even an individual contact. To get started, you'll need to select the audience that you want to export. Click View Contacts to see who's in this list. Now, here's a quick pro tip. The General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR, is a privacy law enacted by the EU to give its citizens the rights to ask for their personal data. If a contact requests their personal data from you, you can export it from their contact file by opening the individual file and selecting Export. But that's different than what we're doing with the process that I'm about to show you here. To export an entire list of contacts, you can click the Export Audience button. The entire list of contacts will be exported as a comma-separated value file. It will be included in a zip and sent as an email to you. Your export will include separate files for each of the subscribed, unsubscribed, and cleaned contacts. It will not contain any campaign data. When you request Mailchimp to export the contacts list, you'll receive a zip file in the email address assigned to your account. The audience, however, remains intact in Mailchimp with all of its associated list data. People unsubscribe from their email lists all the time, so you can't take it personally. What you can do, however, is implement a way for those who do unsubscribe to tell you why, and sometimes this can lead to useful information. When a member of your audience unsubscribes, that action is associated with a campaign. To see who unsubscribed from a particular campaign, you can click the View Report. Only one person clicked unsubscribe to this campaign, and we can see why if we select this. As you can see here, Carolyn unsubscribed from this list because she's no longer interested. To see the unsubscribe form, you'll go to the Audiences, select the audience, and choose Signup Forms. Select the form builder and click to see the unsubscribe success page. Mailchimp doesn't let you edit the reasons that are listed here, but it does show you what your audience will see. If you want more control over the unsubscribe process, you have the option to build a custom unsubscribe page. I recommend using the Mailchimp help to learn how to do that. As you continue to learn about and nurture your audience, you may find opportunities where you want to ask them something. One of the ways to do that is through a survey. Surveys are implemented using custom merge tags. I have a draft email here open, and I'll use it to show you how to add a survey. In the text content block, I'll add the survey. Now, a survey can look very manual, but as you can see, the pattern here is really easy to understand. Each question is on a new line, following a separate survey merge tag in all caps. Each response should be short, so it's a quick read for your very busy audience. I'll save and close this text container. Next, you can preview the email to see how your survey will look. After a subscriber clicks a response, that response is recorded, and they'll be directed to the survey landing page in Mailchimp. Each subscriber can only provide one response. You'll be able to see the results of your survey when you view the report for the campaign after you send it. Another way to connect with your audience and learn more about them is by taking a poll. Similar to surveys, polls are implemented using merge tags. I'll use this draft email to show you how to send a poll to your audience. Let's add the poll to this text container. This is the basic merge tag for a poll, and you'll want to replace this template with your poll question. We'll save and close this container, and then we'll go to the preview button. The highest and lowest labels for the simple poll cannot be changed. If you want more control over the language, consider using a survey instead. When a subscriber receives this email from you, they can click their response, and they'll be redirected to the poll landing page so that they can see the results. Mailchimp's email automation makes it easy for you to streamline regular communications to get the right message to the right person at the right time. Start by clicking Create Campaign, select Email, and choose Automated. Shown in these boxes are Mailchimp's preset automation templates, and I find these very helpful, but you can create your own customized automation as well. Let's take a look at a couple of these. This template lets you send an automated email to a subscriber when a specific tag is added to the subscriber's profile. If you have integrated your website's ordering system with Mailchimp, for example, this can be a handy way to send an automated thank you when an order is placed. Some of the other popular automated options are saying happy birthday and sharing blog updates. One of the most helpful automations is welcoming new subscribers. I've used this automation extensively, and I always encourage my clients to do the same. You can send a single email to welcome new subscribers, or you can send a series of messages. If your subscribers are signing up for some form of education, say a training, for example, you can use the Education Series option. They all work the same, so I'll use a single email and show you how this works. Select the audience you want this automation to apply to, and click Begin. In the Campaign Builder, you'll choose when this automation will trigger. Select when you want this automated email to be sent to new subscribers. I usually like to send it a day after they subscribe. I do not recommend selecting the option to trigger when subscribers are imported, because I don't often import my subscribers, and when I do, it's not usually a scenario where I want them to get a welcome message. Your situation could be different. The rest of this campaign builder is very similar to when you send a regular email, so I'm going to fill in all of the rest of this email welcome message. And click Save. Next, you're going to define the subject line. And click Save. Click this Edit Design button. I can also add a logo and choose an image. We'll save and close this container. I've filled in the email content. Let's save and close this container. We'll save and close this container. When you've finished designing your automated email, you'll select Start Sending. Adding automation is a great way to use Mailchimp to handle some of the heavy lifting involved with managing an active email marketing strategy. Mailchimp now lets you send printed postcards that you design to your audience. While it might seem a little strange for an email service to send printed materials, there's significant value in reaching out and making your audience feel cared for. Let's take a look at how you can send old-fashioned snail mail to the contacts in your email list. You'll start by clicking Create Campaign and choose the postcard option. You can create and send one-time postcards or automated postcards based on the triggers that you set. You'll see from this screen that you can request a free postcard, and I highly recommend that you do that. One of the ways that I like to use postcards is for the holidays. Knowing my yoga-focused audience, I find sending a postcard during winter solstice is a sweet way to connect. If this is the first time that you send a postcard, Mailchimp will ask you to agree to some additional terms because they're different than sending email campaigns. Next, you'll see a different campaign builder, but the intent is the same. You'll use this screen to design your email and set up how the postcards get sent. Click Add Recipients to identify who in your list you want to send postcards to. The budget for this postcard send will show for you. I can choose to send my postcard to all of the contacts or just to a subset of my subscribers. Next, you'll design the content of your postcard. When you select an image for your postcard, it has to be a high-resolution image, which makes sense. Postcards are printed materials, so you're going to need a high-resolution image to make it look right. You can see the preview shows me the front and the back of my postcard. Adding a promo code is useful if the purpose of this postcard is to get your audience to purchase something. I can also add a logo. Before you click Send, you'll confirm the verification code on the credit card associated with your account. Once you do that, you can schedule the postcard or simply click Send Postcard at the top, and it will arrive at the estimated delivery time. I look forward to sending postcards only once a year or so, but your business may find them useful to drive purchases or encourage the use of coupons. Landing pages can help you grow your audience while promoting your products and services. You can now build and publish landing pages directly in Mailchimp. They're an easy way to share on the web, and if a page has a sign-up form, you can tag each new subscriber from the landing page. To get started, click Create Campaign and choose Landing Page. Give your landing page a name that represents the purpose for this page. Your subscribers will not see this title. I typically add a time frame to my landing page titles because I run my campaigns with end dates so that I can compare the results with other campaigns before I create a new one. Landing pages must be associated with an audience in your account. Once you publish this page, you won't be able to change the audience, so make sure you choose this correctly. Mailchimp Templates have placeholder images and text, so you know ahead of time you'll need to change everything out so it's completely branded for your company. There are a number of templates here that I can use. I'm going to select the Promote Products for my purpose. Just like with your email campaigns, you'll see a design window with the option to add images, text, video, buttons, etc. Let's get started by placing an image at the top of this landing page. As you continue down the screen, adding and deleting design elements, you'll work to get the landing page just the way you want it. You'll notice that just like an email campaign, you can preview your landing page. When you're happy with the page design, click Save and Close. In the campaign builder that displays, you'll give your landing page a title. Be sure that the title is branded with your company or offer for the best search engine results, because this page will be published to the internet. This is also a title that your audience will see. You can connect your own domain or use a Mailchimp domain to share your landing pages. As you can see here, a custom domain will cost extra, but if I select Connect, I can authenticate my own company domain. Mailchimp provides the steps to do this here, and the benefit is that your campaigns will appear to come from your company's main domain instead of Mailchimp's. This gives your domain some good search engine juice, and it helps customers connect with your brand. I'm going to cancel this step for now and go back. Once I've finished with the landing page design and I'm happy with it, I'll click Publish up here. I recommend using landing pages when you have special things to promote, like a new product, for example, because landing pages are an important part of any active marketing strategy. Email marketing and advertising go hand in hand, and Mailchimp lets you put your list data to action in a whole new way through social media advertising. The real power of creating ads in Mailchimp is in your audience list. Your list helps you target people with similar interests and demographics. Start by clicking Create Campaign and select Ad. Let's say I want to reach new yogis and encourage them to join Audible Yoga. I can create a new Facebook or Instagram ad to run on those channels, or a Google remarketing ad, and I'm going to choose this option. I'll type a campaign that's easily recognizable in my list of campaigns. My company website is listed here already, so I'll click Begin. You may need to accept some new terms of use, and after that, you'll see the Campaign Builder. This builder shows me that the ads are going to run on the Google network. The ad will retarget people who have visited my website before. I can adjust my budget, even get a little boost of help from Mailchimp. Next, you'll create up to 5 ads that will display. Here's where I'll enlist the help of my designer, who will combine branded images and words to create some ads that will catch the eyes of new yogis. I'll type the link that is associated with this ad's call to action. This is the website or landing page that I want people to go to if they click my ad. Now, unless your special offer is right on your homepage like mine is, I don't recommend sending new customers to the homepage. Always send them directly to where they can see and sign up for your offer. If you built a landing page for your special offer in Mailchimp, for example, that would be a great link to include here. With all of my fields filled in, these are the fields that will display in my ad. I can see my budget and type my credit card verification code when I'm ready to start sending. It is very important to notice that Mailchimp will continue to bill my card every week as long as this ad campaign is running. Mailchimp lets you post to your social accounts all without leaving your dashboard, and you can see the results of each campaign right in the Mailchimp dashboard. Just to be clear, the social posts I'm talking about here are separate from the email campaigns and different from the posts that are automatically sent when you send a campaign. To get started, we'll click Create Campaign and select the Social Post option. Let's say I want to create a social post to attract new yoga teachers. I'll select Edit Channel to choose the channels where I want this post to be shared. Be sure to choose your Facebook business page. Next, I'll edit the content for this post. Images are very important for social media engagement, so I'll add this branded image to the post, and I'll type the text that'll go with this image. When I'm finished with designing my social post, I'll click Publish to start the campaign. I'll save this one for later so I can show you some results of a previously published post. Here is an example of the engagement results I got from a social post that I sent recently. I encourage you to use all of the marketing strategies that Mailchimp offers. As you can see, Mailchimp has definitely grown into a full-fledged marketing system that works for businesses of all sizes.